We begin with the right-angled triangle. What is a right-angled triangle? It is obviously a triangle with the right angle. And we call it, for example, here you have the triangle ABC. One say the triangle ABC is a right-angled triangle in A. That means that the angle A is the right angle. One begin with the basis. For example, the basis here is AB. AB. And next, I want to find the apex. The apex, it is the point where meet the two equal legs. So, to draw the apex, I use the compass. I take the length of the leg and the sharp tip on one point. I draw a dash. The sharp tip on the other point, another dash. And so I find the apex. I call it C. And now I can draw the isosceles triangle. CB and CA, the point C here, is the apex of the isosceles triangle. So, the definition of an isosceles triangle, it's a triangle with two equal lengths. Consequently, we have properties for this triangle. First property, you can observe that the two angles, both sides of the basis, we can call them the basis angles, are congruent. They have the same measure. Other property, you can observe that if I draw the perpendicular bisector of the basis, here, you know that I can draw it with the compass. This perpendicular bisector here this perpendicular bisector, it is a reflection line for the triangle. An equilateral triangle. What is an equilateral triangle? It is a triangle with three equal sides. Three sides with the same length. To draw this triangle, I can use first the ruler. I draw one side. For example, this side is 6 centimeters. AB, for example, AB is 6 centimeters. And then I use the compass. I take a gap of 6 centimeters. Then the sharp tip on a point, I draw a dash. The second point, another dash. And so it's over. I find my point C here, and I can draw my equilateral triangle. We can observe that this triangle is 3 times an isosceles triangle. Consequently, this angle and this angle have the same measure. This angle and this angle have the same measure. And so, the 3 angles have the same measure. One knows that the sum of the 3 angles of triangle is always 180 degrees. And so, to find the value of one angle, we have to divide 180 per 6. Per 3, sorry. 3 angles, we share 180 per 3 equal parts. So, to divide, I take first 18. In 18, how many 3? 6. 6 times 3 gives 18. 18 minus 18, 0. The 0. In 0, how many times 3? 0. And so, I find 60 degrees. Each angle is 60 degrees. Other property, remember, for an isosceles triangle, the perpendicular bisector of the basis is a reflection line, but here we have 3 isosceles triangles, and so 3 perpendicular bisector, each perpendicular bisector being a reflection line. So we find 3 reflection lines, 1, 2, and 3. You can observe that the 3 reflection lines all meet the same point, but we'll see this next year. The kite is a quadrilateral where 2 pair of sides have the same measure. 2 pair of adjacent sides have the same measure. It is the definition of a kite. Let us see now some properties of this kite. First, you can observe that the 2 diagonals are perpendicular. First property. Second property, 2 opposite angles have the same measure. This one and this one. And third property, 1 diagonal is a reflection line. This diagonal here, it is a reflection line. The rhombus or diamond, it is a quadrilateral with 4 equal sides. The 4 sides have the same line. It is the definition of a diamond. Let us see now many properties. The first property is that the two diagonals are perpendicular, and moreover they cross at the midpoint. The two diagonals are perpendicular and they cross at the midpoint. Other property, the opposite angle have the same measure. And the last property, you can observe that the two diagonals are reflection lines. First reflection line, second reflection line, and so the diamond have two reflection lines. A rectangle is a quadrilateral with four right angles. Properties of a rectangle, you can observe that the opposite sides have the same length and they are parallels. This side and this side. Second property is the diagonals have the same length and they cross at the midpoint. Third property, the two perpendicular bisectors, this one and this one, there's perpendicular bisector are two reflection lines. So one find two reflection lines. The square, it is a quadrilateral with four right angles and four sides with the same length. So a square is both a rhombus and a rectangle. The properties, it has many properties, of course, because it is the king of the quadrilaterals. It gathers all the properties. You can observe that the opposite sides are parallel. You can observe that the diagonals here have the same length. They have the same length. They meet the midpoint. They have the same length, of course, and they are perpendicular. Each diagonal is a reflection line, but also the perpendicular bisector. And so you find four reflection lines.